Hello and welcome to my video on the chemistry of Benadryl. So the main component of Benadryl is diphenhydramine, and it is a polar covalent molecule. It has 64 sigma bonds, 6 pi bonds, and 100 valence electrons. At the top of this structure, there are 2 carbons, nitrogen, 2 more carbons, oxygen, and they all have a tetrahedral shape. The carbons have a tetrahedral molecular geometry, whereas the nitrogen has a trigonal bipyramidal molecular geometry due to its lone pair, and the oxygen has a bent molecular geometry due to its 2 lone pairs. At the bottom of this molecule, there are some more carbons, and they have a trigonal planar shape and molecular geometry. The top half of this molecule has sp3 hybridization, and the bottom half has sp2 hybridization. Okay, so let's take another look into this molecule. It is a polar molecule, and the nitrogen and the oxygens have a polar bond, which creates a dipole moment. And like all molecules, it has a London dispersion intermolecular force, and due to the dipole moment, it has a dipole-dipole intermolecular force. These strong intermolecular forces causes a high boiling and melting point. Its boiling point is 166 degrees Celsius, and the melting point is 343 degrees Celsius. Another fun fact about this molecule is it's soluble in water, and its solubility is 3,060 milligrams per liter. So these are all really fun facts, but what does diphenhydramine do for us? If you have an itchy insect bite or a bad cold, no worries, you can take Benadryl, which has diphenhydramine in it, and it helps reduce the symptoms from your bug bite or your cold. We have these receptors called H1 receptors, where a histamine binds to, and it triggers a G protein to then send a signal to your brain to start an immune response for the inflammation and the itchiness for your bug bite, or the stuffy nose and sore throat from your cold. But when you take Benadryl, which has diphenhydramine in it, the diphenhydramine is an antihistamine which binds to the same site that the histamine would bind to, and it blocks it from signaling to your brain to start that immune response, which stops your cold symptoms and the itchiness and swelling from your bug bite. This is all great, but what if you can't sleep from your insect bite and your cold? No worries, diphenhydramine also inhibits acetylcholine from binding to its receptor. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for keeping you awake. So when you take Benadryl, the diphenhydramine inhibits the acetylcholine from signaling to your brain to stay awake by binding to the nicotinic receptor and inhibiting the binding of acetylcholine. So now, not only do you have your cold symptoms or bug bite symptoms reduced, you can also sleep really well at night. Here are my references, and the next time that you take Benadryl when you have a cold or a bug bite, think